You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with JohnAlex and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a product of Sack of Sin Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other podcast locations. Or check us out at sackofsin.com or heypalwhatsnew.com. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. JohnAlex and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like the Goop Podcast. You have been warned. Does it work? Does it work? Oh, it worked.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Can I just say?
What's that?
I was playing Call of Duty the other day, and some guy's like, he's like, yo, sit down, kid. And I was like, kid, dude, shut the fuck. I was like, do you have any idea how old I am? And he's like, how old? I don't know if I told this story last week.
Oh, no, I don't think.
I was like, dude, I'm old enough to be your dad. He goes, my mom's 49. I was like, I'm 51. He goes, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. He goes, motherfucker, you sound like you like 20.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I wish I looked like I was 20.
You want to check my ball sack? Hey, everybody, guess what? It's Hey Pal, What's New?
It is.
I'm Greg, and that's JohnAlex over there, and we're back, and we're a little late, but that's
black.
okay. Yeah, we're not black.
You're wearing black.
You should see, like, my freaking T-shirt drawer is just, like, black.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Mix it up, yellow and black.
Yeah, it's like metal T-shirts and V-necks, which I wear mostly
Of course.
V-necks. And now you've seen I've actually cut the collars off now, so I look like something from Flashdance.
Oh.
But that's okay. Yeah, so we're back. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff here. We're going to give some recaps of what happened this week, and we're going to talk about movies, TV, music, whatever's out there. A whole bunch of stuff is out there.
Naked women, penises.
Yeah, seriously. 70s bushes. We're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to talk about old Uncle Al Jorgensen. We're going to talk about Sweeney Todd. All of it. All of it. It's all craziness. But, yeah, we'll start off with a little, what's new with you there, Samuel L. Jackson?
I don't know. Not much.
Nothing?
I feel like I had a week. My week was more about going to the movies and shit like that.
Yeah,
so.
see, you did your homework and you actually went to the movies. I, on the other hand, was just running around like an asshole. Just not really. Really just my uncle and aunt are up from Florida.
Ooh,
so yeah, we've been hanging out with them.
House.
Yeah, more people. Seeing family and stuff like that. We're gonna give a little recap of SOSS 2.
Excuse me.
But yeah.
In the bed.
Yeah. The only thing I really did was last night, Manal and I went to Broadway.
We went so fancy.
We went to see Sweeney Todd last night, which was great.
How was Johnny Depp in that?
Yeah, he wasn't in that one. But you know what? Josh Groban was supposed to play Sweeney Todd. He backed out, or something happened. He was sick or something like that. So he went out. And they had a
understudy.
understudy. So they were like, well, you can get your. I was like, I don't want to reschedule. Like, Manal and I were like, we're off. We're both off till the 28th. It's like, let's go down to Broadway, you know? Yeah. I was like, I don't give a fuck, Josh Groban, whatever. But the funny thing was, we go there, and Broadway, which we're going to talk about waiting time and stuff like that. Huge, I'm walking through Times Square, and I actually tweeted, or X'd, or whatever you talk. But I actually, I tweeted at Jeff and told him, I said, because he's been really pushing waiting time. I said, dude, I don't know. I was in Times Square. They had a huge billboard.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk more about it in TV, but we went and, we were up there. We were up in the nosebleeds a little bit, but it was nice. Really good. I mean, a good musical. But the beginning of it, they have, they do the whole Sweeney Todd, the demon popping on Fleet Street. And then here comes Sweeney Todd. He was bald and black. I was like,
what?
That don't look like no Josh Groban. Can you imagine the people that didn't know and they show up and was like waiting for Josh Groban with his freaking long, with the fake black curly wig and stuff, and here comes the,
bald black man.
Yeah, and he was great. Don't get me wrong, he was freaking awesome. The woman who plays who has the meat pie store, she was hysterical. But yeah, it was just, he pops out, and I'm like, wait, wow, that went in a different direction. I was like, okay, but it was still fun. Like I said, I'm off for the next 2 weeks. I think we're both going back to 28th. My kids aren't going back to like September. Well, I'm good for you.
I go in for a conference day. It's like the Thursday before Memorial Day. Mm-hmm. And then Tuesday is a conference day. And then I think Wednesday is just freshmen at the high school.
Oh, okay.
And then I see my students on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Thursday. Yeah. Whatever the fuck it is. Who cares?
Whatever. Yeah, my kids are off. I think they said after Labor Day. So, oh, shit. That's cool. Yeah, other than that, really, we could talk a little bit about SOSS 2. Yeah, it was
Save our sinking ship.
Yes, that's exactly what we should call it. All in all, we really thank you to Jim, WXAX.
Hell yeah.
We're drinking your stuff here. Gave us a lot of cool swag. He was awesome. Thanks to Gary, who secured the spot, our drummer and Critically Shamed. All the bands were great.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, Spike Polite and Sewage. I mean, these guys came down, and I put a little note on the Hey Pal What's New Facebook page. Attendance-wise, wasn't, we'll be honest, it wasn't great. It was basically bands playing for bands. But at the same time, Spike Polite, those guys, they freaking killed it. They came all the way up from New York City, didn't get a fucking dime. They go... Spike comes to me and goes, "Oh, we're gonna get food trucks and stuff." I said, "Nah, we couldn't really secure food trucks." He goes, "That's all right, man. We're gonna go to where's the grocery store?" They went out and bought like briquettes, and they had a barbecue,
punk rock barbecue,
Cosmic Error. Those guys are freaking awesome, and they did they're like a jam band kind of thing, but the one of the drummers, they have two drummers. One of the drummers is like, we have a set of like marching quads. Should I bring those in? I was like, do you even have to ask? Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Bring your freaking ass over and bring the quads. And that was the best part. And they threw out all these rubber duckies. My girl like collected like 5 gazillion of them. We made new friends and it was a good time. Next time, if yeah. But we got our wax swag. We got our, we got our cups and, John bought a Spike Polite shirt. We got some wax swag and, all the bands are great. Blue Alien Mystic, always great. They're playing tonight, actually, at the Freight House. We always wish them the best. And, yeah. Our boy, came all the way from Long Island. So we had a lot of people travel and show up. No egos. No, like, who's going on first? But at the same time, we all enjoyed each other. We had a good time. And the weather was back and forth. We had rain and, it was hot and steamy and stuff. But we had a good time. So
just like my poops.
Hopefully we'll do another one before the end of the year. We're going to work on that. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be changing in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We're going to really push this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that was basically it. Really just recovering from SOSS 2. Sweeney Todd yesterday. Yeah.
Sweeney.
Yeah. So do we have any... end to the news. Yeah. John, you got any news?
I don't have a lot of news.
There's not much news out there.
No, but my biggest piece of news, I'll just lead with big. Anyway, looks like we're getting the Ahsoka show one day earlier on Tuesday, August 22nd at 6 p.m.
That's 6 p.m. Pacific time, I think it is.
Don't tell me that because that means it's like 9 o'clock here.
It is. I'm just warning you.
You know what? It'll get leaked online beforehand.
They always do the, wait, it's coming out midnight. It's like, yeah, it's coming out midnight for the West Coast.
Right.
Freaking 3 a.m. for us.
But
which is great. A day early.
But that just means it's going to be a week and a day before I get my next episode of Ahsoka.
Well, the interesting thing I heard about the Ahsoka trailer, which, by the way, I mean, I've heard the early reactions to the embargo's out as far as like out of theater, but like everybody's ranting and raving about it. Yeah. They're saying if you've watched Rebels, you're gonna fucking really love it. If you haven't watched Rebels, you're still gonna really like it. Like you don't get too lost. It's not too inside baseball. And the first 2 episodes, I think when they run it back to back, it's like a movie site. It's like
an hour and 40 something minutes.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah, but I did hear the 3rd episode, 35 minutes.
Oh,
we're like, oh shit.
That's
so
right.
Don't worry about it. You know, if you do have to wait that week and a day, you're only going to get a half-hour episode after that.
All I know is we'll watch all the episodes as they air, and then someone's going to cut those episodes into like a full length.
Oh yeah,
all edited together.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that. That looks really, really good.
Did you watch Fargo?
I watched the first season. The other ones after it, I kind of tapped
The other
out. 3? Yeah.
Okay.
Was 3 after that?
Yeah. And November 21st, we're getting season 5.
Okay.
Which takes place in 2019. So every season takes place at a time in history.
Yeah.
Like, the last one was with fucking Chris Rock.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
I was apprehensive about that, but it was actually really good.
Yeah. I mean, I've been meaning to catch up on it. Like I said, I watched the first season, which was very close and in the same timeline with the movie.
Right.
After that, I started trying to get into season 2. I forget who was in it. The creepy guy from Breaking Bad was always in it.
Yeah.
The Todd guy.
Yeah.
And he's a great actor. He's like a great character actor. After that, I just kind of tapped out. I don't know why, you know. It happens, kids. Sometimes you tap out of shit, but you can go back to it.
That's right. Well, go in continuing the downward slide. October 4th.
Yeah.
Season 3 premiere. Chucky. Why? Season 2 was like...
Season 2 was a fucking... It was...
Garbage day!
There you go.
It was so garbage day. And it sucked because the first season I really, really enjoyed.
Well, yeah.
Season 2, it was the same thing. I just started watching it, and I'm like, okay, they're in a school, and then they're trying to convert. It was like so fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I might just watch a recap of 2 and just go right into 3. They did have Glenn/Glenda in it, but...
Well, that's a nice thing about Fargo is I don't think you have... The seasons are not tied together.
No, they're completely... It's kind of like American Horror Story, right? Where it's just like different stories for each season, which is cool. So I might check out Fargo.
I'm scratching my back, not my ass.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm fingering my asshole. God damn it.
You doing the swipe test? I do it all the time. I look at Manal and go, swipe test, fail. Gotta take a shower.
This is indefinite news. Apparently, they're in the works on season 3 of The Bad Batch.
Oh, boy.
Less Omega.
less Omega, more gooder.
Well, maybe Omega will fall into the Ezra Bridger syndrome where, like, by later seasons, it was like, all right, he's right.
Yeah, by, like, season 3, Ezra, you were like, all right, now I'm, like, really excited to see him in Ahsoka. Where in the beginning, too. I was like, ugh.
He's so fucking annoying.
I loved Rebels, actually. It was... and that's the thing. If you want to go on to Disney Plus, you can watch the Disney. You can check out the essential episodes.
Yes.
Because that whole you can watch everything and it's cool, but I'd say there's a lot of like Adventure of the Week kind of shit in Rebels. To be honest.
Yeah.
But the freaking overall storyline of Rebels is freaking awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
So yeah, I'm excited for that, and I was also excited for Ahsoka for the fact that, excuse me, a lot of people that weren't into Rebels or didn't watch it or were very skeptical about because after Mando, that taste in their mouth, they're like, I don't know about this, but like the naysayers were like, okay, this is really good. So I'm like, when I see the negative people talking positive, I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. So. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Maybe we'll do a watch along or something like that. We can figure that out.
I don't have any other news, so
just kick it.
John, you got any news?
Did you ever see that clip? Just real quick before we go into trailers,
dude,
maybe.
We talk about whatever. Come on, you know that.
Somebody put up a thing. I think it was Jim from WXAX. Put up a reel of somebody said, if Blazing Saddles was made in 2023.
Yeah.
Did you see that clip? It says, if Blazing Saddles was made in 2023, it does the intro. It's like, they has the song Blazing Saddles, and then all of a sudden it's the end.
Like, pretty much.
You can't get away with that shit now.
There's a lot of movies you can't get away with now. Well, there's a lot of shit you can't get away with, and I'm just going to say, I saw that movie Strays.
Oh,
with the dogs and shit.
Yeah.
Usually it's like Talking Dog. You're like, oh my god, fucking Talking Dogs.
Yeah.
But it's a comedy.
I totally forgot about it.
It is vulgar, full of profanity and inappropriate sexual humor with no nudity that I remember. It's an R rating, and I fucking loved it. It was a funny, raunchy movie. I got like Superbad vibes and 40-Year-Old Virgin kind of like that inappropriate sexual shit.
I'm hoping that the R-rated comedy comes back. Maybe not theatrically, but streaming, you know?
Think of it like Homeward Bound with sex jokes and profanity. And a little bit of dismember. Because the whole thing is, I don't know if you know the premise, but
I remember seeing the trailer of it and being like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." And then like I forgot. And then when you hear Strays and Talking Dogs, you're like, "Is this Beverly Hills Chihuahua?" Like, I don't want to see this.
No.
Hey, man, like I said, the R-rated comedy. It's there's a lot of them with Joyride.
Yes.
That freaking The Machine. This the Jennifer Lawrence thing. It's like we were saying on past episodes. It's like. It's not something I'm going to rush to the theater to see, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck it. I enjoy these movies. We're giving them good reviews. It's just,
It's a good movie.
It's I'm saving my AMC Regal type stuff for tentpole films, big-ass films.
Okay.
Which I still haven't got. My movies, I got shit. I got nothing.
Well, I
don't even have a fucking old one to tell you about.
So, the other movie I saw...
Yes.
Went last night yesterday afternoon at 2:20 with Xander.
Nice.
Before I picked Manny up from the airport from Ireland. Was Blue Beetle.
Oh, I want to see that this weekend.
And honestly, it's fun. It has no in your face connection to the rest of the DC universe, which is nice. There is a connection. Like there's one scene where they go into the Blue Beetle into a lair that the girl's dad. I don't want to spoil the whole movie.
It doesn't matter.
And the guy's like, oh my god, George Lopez is like, oh my god, your dad was the Blue Beetle, and he was this superhero in years ago who dressed up and used the tech from the Beetle to create gadgets and stuff like that. And you got all these gadgets and shit like that, and they compared it to Batman, and George Lopez is like, fuck Batman.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was like Batman's a fascist.
Yes, that's right. That's what he says. Which I like that because the costumes and everything in that lair pay a little homage to the original Blue Beetle comics and stuff like that, where Blue Beetle found this tech and was using it to build tech and stuff and was mentored by Batman in the comics.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of make that connection, but they're just keeping it separated. Maybe they'll bring it back later. But I like that it's a nice standalone, not connected to any of the other DC shit movie that you can watch over and over again.
I mean, apparently James Gunn said that Blue Beetle will be in his new DCU.
But they're not connecting it right now, which is good because
they shouldn't.
Well, a lot of these movies, they do that shit. They connect it to other stuff, and then now they're held to that connection later on.
Especially in an origin story kind of movie, it's like just do it as a standalone, and then down the line, look at the pop that Spider-Man got in Civil War.
Right.
We all seen the origin of Spider-Man ad nauseum a bunch of times.
We didn't need it.
He just shows up and you're like, fuck, it's Spider-Man,
Everybody knows who Spider-Man is at this point.
So with Blue Beetle, if it's good and, they don't have to rush into sequels and stuff, I think Superman Legacy starts in 2025?
Okay.
If they want to include him in the DCU going forward, he can make an appearance and people go, oh, fuck yeah, Blue Beetle. I mean, I don't know. It's getting great reviews. But as far as monetary wise, it's like, ooh.
Well, they don't give him. They give you his whole origin, and it's nice because they show you him figuring out that he's a hero and how to be a hero, and apparently the technology was a world killer thing, and it wants to kill everybody. And he's like, no, we don't kill.
Yeah.
And that's part of the plot later on is the whole we don't kill, that he's anti-killing. I'm not going to lie. You get real strong Spider-Man vibes off of it.
It looks very, from the reviews I've heard from other people too, it's it's really fun. It's good to see representation. Brown family, the family dynamic, very much similar to Ms. Marvel.
Yep.
But you're getting, just watching the trailer, you get serious Spider-Man vibes, you get serious Iron Man vibes. It's all been done before.
The only thing that brings it down for me in the rating, because I would give it a solid, I'd say 3.5.
Okay.
Susan Sarandon.
Well, I heard she wasn't really a great villain.
No, she is not at all. And I'm just like, she can't do this kind of stuff.
Really?
Because she sounds like, I don't know, like a summer stock theater person delivering bad Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I want them killed.
Yeah.
Why are we not killing them? It's just so stiff, her, in this. She's just not a villain.
DC, much like Marvel, little weak on the villains.
Yeah. I think they were going for a name.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, you got to look at it this way. Everybody's talking about, like, oh, it's not going to make a ton of money. It's only going to be, like, they're projecting, like, $30 million, which is not shabby.
No.
It only had, like, a $125 million budget, from what I understand. So it's not, like, that's the sweet spot. And it was originally going to be streaming.
Yeah.
So it's got to run in the theater. They're going to make their money back, yeah, hopefully. And hopefully it's, I like the Cholo kid.
I don't know what else he's in.
He's in Cobra Kai.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah, he's the main dude in Cobra Kai. So, he's a great actor. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. So 3.5 pounds. That's good. That's good, man. That's good for.
Yeah, I'll give the Strays movie probably a nice, strong 3.5.
Oh, okay. I thought you would go 4.
I'm going to reserve my 4. I'm going to give it a strong 3.5. 3 3/4.
Well, you do what you got to do, man. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's bologna sandwich.
3/4 chub with a J curve.
Yeah, go back to the
old rating system.
That's right. You ain't listening anyway.
and if we're gonna get into it, there's only 2 TV shows that I consume that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I got a bunch of TV. I mean, we definitely both watched Heels.
Oh my god, so good.
Which people, if you're sleeping on that show, Heels,
don't.
It's really good. In the beginning, I was kind of like, I don't know, but like the storyline it's going with now is just like this last episode that they aired. It was a good
when they brought
twist.
Ace back.
And you know what? Something I noticed in this latest episode too is that, and I've heard criticisms about it from other people, where it's like last season they had all these wrestling matches. They didn't show the actual match.
Right.
It was more of like, and people had suggested like, you don't do it in the episode, but like have a separate YouTube channel with the full episode. This last episode had like the commentary back and forth. You saw the matches, you saw the story. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I get more into that now. And you can follow it more because, I mean, technically wrestling is all freaking storylines anyway. So
it's about the story.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, I love Big Jim.
I love that they address like the retired wrestler shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that poor convention where the people are just like wandering around.
And the one guy who's like he's like, I just bring him around just to help him get some money so he can pay his medical bills.
It's all real to me, damn it. That guy.
You guys did.
But I was actually watching that and I was like, I would go to one of those.
Oh yeah.
If you've watched, we'll talk about TV. That kind of a piece that goes along great with Heels is on Vice. I've been watching a lot of Dark Side of the Ring.
Justin, I'd like to see you in a pair of heels. Blue eyes, red heels. Well, Justin and I...
Delish.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I've been watching a lot of Vice. 2 shows I've been watching, which I want to mention, is Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes, I watched that.
Those are great.
Great.
Because I'm like the old school wrestler from like the 80s and 90s. I haven't really followed up as much as it is now. But they talk about, they had some great past episodes like Macho Man and ooh yeah. Uh-huh. You gonna talk about the Macho Man.
Dude, I did a Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair. I mean, Coco Beware, they had one and all that stuff and all the trials and stuff. So it's good to watch that. The other one I watched on Vice is they've been doing those Dark Side of the 2000s. They did Dark Side of the 80s, Dark Side of the 90s. They take a specific thing. I don't know if you watched it this week. They did a 2-parter. It was about shock jocks of the 2000s.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
So it was Howard Stern against Opie and Anthony.
Holy shit! And
they tell and of course they threw a man cow in there somewhere. But if you followed O&A like we did, and the whole Howard Stern thing, how he moved, it was a lot of like. It was interesting. If you're fans of those shows and the battles that they had before, the back and forth, like definitely check it out. It's worth watching. I mean, the O&A guys goofed on it for the fact that they do a lot of like dramatizations, where it's like blurry pictures of them, like, and they're just like, that really didn't happen, God. But they talked about the voyeur bust. They talked about all the shenanigans that they used to do in NEW.
Sex for Sam?
Sex for Sam they talked about, and the whole Howard thing. Because I was to be quite, I was a huge Howard fan when he was first out. I mean, the 80s, even into the 90s. But then once somebody, I think an ex-girlfriend of mine was like, "Do you listen to Opie and Anthony?" And I'm like, "Nah, who's that? Like, they're on this show, NEW. You have to listen to it. They're so funny." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. They're probably fucking Howard clones." And I watched it, and they called out all the bullshit on Howard and how freaking. But it's really good.
For me, it was my brother who turned me on to them. And he called me one day. I'm driving home, and he's like, "Dude, you have to turn on NEW." He told me, he's like, you have to put it on. He goes, "If you like," he goes, "I know you love Stern." He goes, "But these guys are fucking over the top, outrageous." He goes, "Right now they got girls in 55-gallon drums, and they're dumping shit on them." Oh yeah. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that was the type, and it was perfect at that particular time and period in time where you could listen to Howard in the morning.
Yep.
And then you go to work, and then you can catch O&A on the ride home. So it was like a perfect balance. Now, it's
with the podcast market, as we shoot ourselves in the
foot.
They
invented that whole comedians and all. They didn't really give enough credit to O&A, kind of like.
And they
no, and then they even gave Mancow some time, which understandably he was like the first one, but like Howard, and it was so funny because. If you watch that documentary, it was a 2-parter.
Right.
You can catch it on Vice. You can watch it on YouTube. It's freaking. It's really good. I highly recommend it. But they showed they were talking about.
It's Dark Side of the 90s.
Dark Side of the 2000s.
Okay.
It's the latest episode. It just aired this week. But they show they talk about how Howard now he's a completely changed person and all this stuff, and he's living a different life, but then they showed the clips of him in blackface.
Whoops!
They show him in blackface because I remember watching that. It was like a pay-per-view thing, where he pretended he was Ted Danson when Ted Danson put on the blackface.
Yep.
And friggin' Sherman Hemsley was Whoopi Goldberg. So they show him in blackface, and nowadays you're like, oh my god, they were doing that on. And then they showed Anthony from O&A with the blackface on when they did that parody song about OJ, and he had blackface, so they were just like, oh man, it's like, all right, well they both, we all try to pretend that they're all like this and that, but the thing is, I still follow Anthony on Anthony Cumia, and it's like, he was just like, I apologize for nothing, and poor Opie, man, jeez, he does that freaking show, it's like, oh boy.
What show does he do? I don't even pay attention to him.
YouTube morning thing, live from his beach house or something like that. I mean, they get less views than ours.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, wow. So have the mighty
Hey, we could do a cross-promotion with Opie. Hey, Opie, you promote our podcast. We'll promote your morning show.
Hey, sure. I mean, at this point, why not? But, I mean, you got to give props to those guys. Those are the guys that basically invented podcasting.
Really quick, since it's kind of related, one of the shows I watched was on Netflix, that Ladies First, all about women in hip-hop.
Oh, you watched that?
Dude, there's shit I didn't realize. They really get into it. They get in deep, and they have all those people on there giving their interviews, telling the stories, and they do a good job because they the way they tell it is they're intercutting because they have video footage of all this shit. They can intercut, have these people telling the story and intercut the one girl was like, I went, driving down the street with my mom, and there's these guys in the corner with a camera, and they're rapping at each other. My mom's like, you should get out and rap for them. And I was like, all right. And I got out, and they had the video of her doing it.
Oh, wow.
If you're into hip hop, well, really rap.
Yeah.
I didn't know, Sugar Hill Gang. I knew Sugar Hill Gang. I knew, everybody knows rappers. I didn't know that was a group of rappers under one thing that was the Sugar Hill Gang, and they got them together for one song to do the one song.
Yeah, there's the 3 people in the Sugar Hill Gang. There's another show, I think, that there's a hip-hop show that's, believe it or not, I guess I've been watching a lot of Vice. They had one on Ice-T lately. I mean, I love all that stuff. Especially a lot of people sleep on those women rappers, man.
Oh, yeah.
Not the fucking Doja Cats and shit like that. Although they can spit some bars. I mean,
but they have all them on there too. Saying if it wasn't for these ladies, none of us would have anything right now.
I mean, I would put Missy Elliott as one of the top 5 men or women, best rappers of all time. I'll put her up there with MCA and Biggie and all those guys.
Give it a serious watch because I will say it is definitely worth the watch.
Excellent. All right, we can talk about that, and then also we're just going to mention winning. We talked about Winning Time.
Yeah.
The new episode's coming out Sunday. Our boy Jeff Pearlman, he's been putting out some tweets and stuff. Season 3 is kind of in the balance, and if you haven't watched it, like I fully admit, I slept on it. I watched a couple episodes, and then I kind of dropped off. But then when I knew the news, once season 2 came out, I binged them that one day, and now I'm fully caught up, and I'm like, this show is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, if you're a fan of that dynasty back then, especially with Bird, the guy who plays Larry Bird is like spot on.
Oh my god.
And all of them are just great. So watch that show. Well, yeah, it's on the Max. You got to pay for that big ass billboard I saw down in Times Square last night. Huge Winning Time billboard, which was cool to see. I was like, Mayapack High School guy does good.
Jeff Pearlman from the mean streets of Mayapack.
From the mean streets of Mayapack, our boy Jeffy Pearls.
Well, I did watch one other show on Netflix.
Ooh.
I watched the documentary of Depp versus Heard.
Oh.
And I will say, I really look when the trial was going on.
Is it like a 5-part documentary?
3.
Okay.
When the trial was going on, it was a pain in the ass because it was like you can't watch all of that at once.
Yeah.
But what this documentary did was it did a great job of cutting together, because Amber Heard testified in the beginning, and then 2 weeks later Johnny Depp testified.
Yeah.
So it did a great job of, here's what happened next. Here's her testimony. Here's his testimony. And here's, like, they showed you the court, the evidence stuff.
Yeah.
So when they played the recording, they played the recording. When they played a video, even referencing the fact that they met on the Rum Diaries and, like, talking about their kiss on the Rum Diaries. And she was like, when you do that as a professional, there's certain things you don't do, like in a scene like that, you don't use tongue. She's like, and then we started kissing, and it was just like right to tongue.
French.
And they show the clip from the movie.
Oh,
so
okay.
So it was nice to have that visual, the way they put it together, of him and her side by side, their interviews, so that you can see his compared to hers. When she refers to a picture, when she refers to stuff, and they even talked. I didn't know about this when the trial was over. The judge said, "Look, all the evidence that we dismissed before in the pretrial stuff, that we said this is not going into evidence, this is not going to be used, this is not. I'm unsealing that so people can request it." And someone started a Kickstarter. It was actually a YouTuber. She started a Kickstarter to get the money to get it unsealed so that she could share it with everybody.
Oh wow!
Because it was like $3,000 to get all those files.
That's not too
and
shabby.
She did, and you hear, like, there's a conversation, a text message conversation. One of the things was him kicking her on the plane, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've never done that. I've never, would never. I find it utterly incomprehensible. The way he picks his words, it's hilarious. But, like, they apparently had downloaded the text messages from her phone that showed her having a conversation with this other guy who was there, and him saying, like, he doesn't remember that he kicked you. And everybody's like, yeah, we're going to see how she's a fucking liar, and we see all this evidence. And they went, shit. But then it was found out that, like, of all the messages on her phone, that conversation was in a completely different font and everything else. It didn't match the other messages. So, like, this is really suspect as to whether or not this is real.
Yeah, I'm interested to watch that now, because I did follow a little bit of it. But you got, like, little sound bites, and you get the court of public opinion, and you just it'll be cool to watch, hers and his. Because I think that, Johnny Depp was acquitted of all this nonsense, but I don't,
Well, they settled in the end because she was getting so fucking harassed by people.
Yeah.
And they explained it's the reason, like, it didn't even, like, I don't think it went to the jury. They admitted the whole thing was him trying to clear his name.
Yeah.
To get his reputation back.
Yeah, from what I understand, just from the clips that I saw, I'm going to watch it this weekend, but it's like, she's batshit crazy. He ain't so fucking innocent either.
No.
He's a little fucking, but most actors are, and actresses are. So I think it's tough, especially in this cancel culture that we live in right now. I don't want to get too crazy about it, but it's just like, whatever happened to, innocent until proven guilty, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's out the window.
Just like, Spider-Man No Way Home. Everybody thought Mysterio was right, but, as Matt Murdock said, it's the court of public opinion. It does.
Well, that's our TV and movies. Did you, any trailers?
We did have a few trailers if you want to hit that button, all right?
Now, hold on there.
You just want to hear the song.
I did. I was thinking about maybe the two of us get down in the old pickup truck corner and hit one of them movie plexes where we can go sit down and eat a tub of popcorn and check out some preview.
I got a big yellow 4-foot bag of popcorn upstairs in the kitchen.
Oh, really?
That's what happens when your kids work at the movie theater. I picked Neil up yesterday. She's holding it. I was like, well, who's got the biggest dick in the house now? She holds it in front of her. She's like, that's right, me.
Good old popcorn. Yeah, you can't go wrong with it. Yeah, I mean, we weren't going to talk about trailers, but then all of a sudden we started chatting before we got on mic, and you're like, oh, well, there's this, you saw...
Right Here, Right Now.
Yeah.
It's a documentary about Fat Boy Slim back in, I forget what year it was, decided to do like a free party on the beach in his hometown to kind of, and they expected like 40,000 people to show up, and like 500,000 people showed up.
Whoops.
Oops.
For a DJ. And it sounds like when we were watching the trailer, it's just like, everyone's like, really? Fat Boy Slim?
For a DJ?
Dude, you throw fucking... It's like that old South Park episode. If you want to get people to show up at something, they do this. They try to do this like political thing in South Park, and they go, "I know what we'll do. We'll give away a free T-shirt." I'm like, "That's not gonna do." And then all of a sudden, tons of people were like, "I heard there was a free T-shirt."
I heard there was free T-shirts.
That looked really good. It was just one of those like the Fire Fest and all that stuff.
Oh my God,
Woodstock and like what went wrong. The other one on the completely other spectrum is. They're re-releasing Stop Making Sense.
Yes.
That concert, which...
4K restoration of the original.
I'm so excited
Have you ever
for that.
seen it?
I saw it a long time. Recently I think I mentioned it on the podcast a couple episodes ago that like I went down a Talking Heads rabbit hole. That freaking Remain in Light record is freaking amazing. Like it's just... I got into the whole Talking Heads rabbit hole and was listening to him a lot, and then now this doc, the restoration of Stop Making Sense is out. I'm like, oh man, it's such a great concert, such an amazing band.
Well, wasn't that it was 3 days? The concert, 3 different concerts, I think, was the video.
Yeah,
and they were stitched together. I should pull it up.
And even they're talking about they're doing a Q&A or like they're filming something like extra they're reuniting Talking Heads. Like they're just the original 4 talking and sitting down.
Right.
And there might be I mean, David Byrne is like, now that the Stop Making Sense documentary is out and they're all older and stuff like that. I mean, David Byrne's doing amazing stuff on his own, but at the same time, he's going like, I think I was kind of a dick back then. Like there's a really big ego, and I'm probably who knows, man? I'm crossing my fingers. I hope that they get the original of Talking Heads back together. That would be insane. A great band, man. Just they don't get enough credit. I don't think. And they were playing CBGBs right next to the Ramones and fucking, Richard Hell. You're like, okay. And they were art school nerds. They just started the band. So yeah, I mean that's a good segue if we want to get into the music. If you wanted to hit that there for me.
I gotta switch screens.
The musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Greg's Music News.
Now getting into music news. We had talked last week, you had mentioned Ice Nine Kills.
Yes.
That you were like, I don't fucking know. And I was like, I know a little bit about them. And so what I did was on the way here, believe it or not, I was like, let me put on Ice Nine Kills. And my reaction of Ice Nine Kills, they're good.
Are they?
Yeah. Fuck. I put one song on the playlist called Shower Scene.
Oh, hello.
It's about Psycho. Like I talked about how all their albums are very horror movie based. There's one song I listened to that has like American Psycho in it. But I did give Ice Nine Kills a listen. I did my usual like, all right, put on their top 5, see what they have.
Yeah,
and I'm
of course.
Like, I don't know, they're fucking and let me tell you, their merch gives freaking Ghost and Maid a run for their money. Like all their stuff is it's all horror movie based. So they have the That song I put on their shower scene is about Psycho. They have a song that's based on American Psycho, and they have like different themes, and they're all horror movies, and they put on a really good show from what I understand. So just a little thing on there. Like, I know I just wanted to do a follow-up from last week's episode because we talked about Ice Nine Kills, and I'm like, I don't really know them, and you're like, I don't really know them. So I was like, I'll listen to them. I recommend them, give them a shot. So we let's start with the stuff before we get into the whole controversial song that everybody's talking about. I don't know why. A lot of singles this week. Don't really see a lot of full-length albums. Guns N' Roses.
Fuck them.
They came out with a new song. Well, it's not new. I mean, it's called Perhaps. It's not bad. It's not all Brad either.
Never is.
Look, I saw Guns N' Roses 2 years ago. They're 3 hours they played. They're freaking amazing live.
Are they?
I mean,
I've never seen them live.
Well, for the longest time, I would not see them because me and my brother had tickets to see them at Lake Compounds on the Use Your Illusion tour, and they canceled twice, and we never went back. And I said, fuck them. I'm never going to see them live. Cut to now, we're in our 50s. We're like, okay, let's go see Guns N' Roses.
Let's give this a shot.
It's at the Hard Rock in fucking Atlantic City. And I went, and that was the one where I saw Mammoth for the first time, which I freaking love that band. They were great. And then Guns N' Roses played for 3 hours, man. Like, Axl came on time. The band sounded amazing.
Wow.
They did all their stuff. Wow. Even the Chinese Democracy, everybody goofed on that. There's some bangers on that album. All so this one is, I think, from what I understand, it was left over from the Chinese Democracy stuff. I think the new Critically Ashamed album is going to be called Chinese Democracy, too, because it's taking that long.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, give it a shot. I put it on the playlist. It's called Perhaps. It's Guns N' Roses. You can't go wrong. Another one, Old Uncle Al. Old Uncle Al Jorgensen. Old Jorgensen.
Buck Satan and the 666 Shooters.
Yeah. Ministry has a new song out called Goddamn White Trash.
Oh, he wrote a song about me?
Yeah. Dude, well, it's funny because I saw the video first before I actually listened to the song and put it on the playlist.
Yeah.
It's a good song, man. It's straight up freaking Uncle Al at his best. He's just, and I just love the chorus. It's like, goddamn white trash. Goddamn white trash. It's good. I put it on the playlist. Right. It's good. Other than those two, those are the big ones. For some reason, I noticed a lot of new songs. That 70s guitar rock is back. It's back in a weird way. I think it started with the old Greta Van Fleet. If you're into that Greta Van Fleet, they're out. Right. They kind of came and went. I loved them at first, and everybody was like, "Oh, they sound like Zeppelin." I thought they sounded more like Heart than Zeppelin, but anyway, I digress. They kind of brought it back, and for as much shit as people gave Greta Van Fleet, I'm like, well, at least guitars are getting back into the mix. Everything doesn't sound like robots fucking. So there's a lot of singles that came out from these bands that are newer bands that are good. I like them a lot. And if you like that 70s, Stillwater band, kind of like the Black Keys or like, stuff like that, there's a lot of singles out that are really good. Rival Sons, we talked about Rival Sons before.
Yeah.
Singer sounds very much like Bad Company kind of stuff.
Okay.
They have a new song called Sweet Life, really good. Another band called Dirty Honey we've talked about before. They have a good 70s Aerosmith kind of vibe. They have a new song out called Can't Find the Brakes. Put that on the playlist. That's really good. And another band called Did you ever hear The Record Company?
No.
They're a band. They're like a 3-piece band, very into that like Black Keys kind of stuff. They dance on Mondays. They have another song on. If you listen to those songs on the playlist, they're all like that 70s rock kind of like back to, not glam, but like, I call it Stillwater rock, from like Almost Famous. Everybody's got long hair with the beards and Blackberry Smoke, bands like that. Like, really, really good stuff. If you're into that like 70s blues rock kind of stuff, some bangers out there. That's really, and then the last one, we'll kind of touch on, everybody's talking about this Oliver Anthony song, Rich Man North of Richmond.
Rich Man North of Richmond.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Did you put it on the playlist?
I did.
I did
put it on there. What's the big deal, everybody? Why do we all have our panties in a twist about this song?
I get it. I get why some people don't like it and some people do.
Well, explain it to me, because you did send me it first, and I put it on. I listened to it. It was like, working real hard for shit pay. Like, all right, okay, that's what happens, you know. But people are just like getting
the one place I could see people getting on board with, like, I can't believe he said that, is that he basically fat shamed people.
Did he really?
He's like, you're 5'6" and 300 pounds. I don't think my taxes should be paying for your cookies.
Oh yeah, kind of stuff like that.
To a degree. And I get it. It's like, you know, it's that frustration of like, you know, I'm paying all this fucking money in taxes, and I'm paying my share in fucking what? You just want the government, and all these fucking rich fat cats want more.
Yeah, and they're talking about people. He's kind of doing it with that, and then the people on welfare kind of stuff.
Yes.
Where it's like, it's getting lumped in that try that in a small town shit, and I'm like, people gotta look, guys. Come here a little closer. Music is music. You don't have to fucking like it. You could just don't listen to it. You don't have to cancel people because of certain things. Like, okay, good. We don't want neo-Nazi fucking bands back, all right? We don't. We don't want, you know, Screwdriver had their day. They're gone, all right? Thank God.
Screwdriver.
You never heard of Screwdriver? Oh, we'll talk about them later. Look, there's music for everybody, right? If somebody writes a song about, you know, fuck this person or fuck that person or whatever, like, it's, dude, the 60s. It happened already. We all talk about this crap. Like, if somebody writes a song saying try that in a small town, and who cares? Who fucking cares? Don't listen to it.
You don't like it, don't fucking listen to it.
Exactly. Now, I'm not asking you to listen to Anal Cunt. I listen to Anal Cunt. They're fucking great. Some people don't like that. Some people don't want to see a shirt with a sumo guy fucking a bag of rice. That's your prerogative. The guy lives in freaking Virginia, and he's singing with his dog, and he's talking about friggin', you know, working real hard and not getting paid. Dude, we've all been there. I've been there. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the song. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, fine.
And you know what? I'm sure there's enough people out there who like it.
Yeah, I do.
He's going to make a little coin off of his song.
Well, that's the big thing, is that, you know, he's getting millions of views.
His wife is here.
Oh,
There's another one.
I got that last one. You want me to drop the mic on this one, too? Oh, yeah, that's right. You stay over there, motherfucker. We got you. But that's pretty much it on the old music-y news there. Yeah,
alrighty.
Yeah.
Watch the musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Greg's music news.
Yeah, Justin said, well, first off, Justin said the front bottoms suck. I'm canceling them.
You don't like the front bottoms?
He does like them.
Oh, okay.
I got to see Ministry and Revolting Cocks just before Raven passed away. Love me some Cocks. I bet you do, Justin.
That's right.
I've seen Ministry a bunch of times, always with Walter.
Never saw them.
Fucking going to a Ministry show. I've seen Ministry and Skinny Puppy multiple times with Walter.
Oh, yeah. Those were his bands.
But they're coming around again, playing with Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Freak.
Skinny Puppy is, or
no,
Ministry?
Ministry.
I'd love to see. We should go see a Ministry show.
Well, and it's fucking Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Freaks on Parade tour. So it's Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Ministry, and Filter.
Not too bad.
I might ask my wife. She wants to go to a concert.
So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, man, I think we did it. We did. We got through it.
And we got to get Tolly.
I promise you, Justin, I will write a theme song for it.
Yeah.
I will write a theme song. We will animate it.
You send me your first review. I don't even care if it's like Blue Beetle that we just talked about.
Yeah, pick up
whatever it is, Justin. You send it to us. I'll create a guy at a toll booth talking Tolly.
Tolly's Take.
Tolly's Take.
Sponsored by Vagisil. I don't know.
Tolly's Take. Sponsored by Boy Butter. When Crisco and Vaseline aren't enough, get me some Boy Butter.
Beard Club for Men. Yeah, but yeah, we did. Like I said, we're be on the lookout. I mean, we're coming up almost on 100 episodes there, pal.
Oh my God!
We celebrated.
This is 85.
Yeah, wow.
Celebrated 2 years.
I know. We celebrated 2 years of doing this stuff, man.
Holy shit!
Look, we've seen an increase in the downloads for the week. We thank you. We love doing this. We love each other. We just want to hang out and talk about stupid shit.
Talk about our dicks.
Please subscribe, like, share, tell your friends. Yeah, man. It's we really don't have anything to promote, but you know, be on the lookout for the channel. Lots of things are changing, and you know, for the better, So, yeah. On that note, I think I'm gonna
shit your pants.
I might.
Well, if you must shit your pants, make sure you're wearing somebody else's.